VR now allows you to sell your experiences to others. Which memories would you put up for sale? I would sell a typical day of me walking through my city. It would allow people to see what life is like from the perspective of a dwarf. You'd get to see how it feels when everyone and everything towers over you, and experience how inaccessible so many places are. And of course, how much unwanted attention you get from strangers. The photographs taken of you. The pointing, staring and comments. Maybe schools could use it to help kids empathize with people who are different. Likewise, from the perspective of a wheelchair. Lyme disease and babesiosis put me in one for a long time. I'm super outgoing and it amazed me how ignored I suddenly became. Serving staff at restaurants, etc., wouldn't make eye contact or always speak to me directly. You better believe that I go out of my way to do so with others in that position now. I sat next to Quentin Tarantino in a theater at one of the first screenings of the Edgar Wright movie The World's End, and for the subsequent Q&A with Wright, Peg and Frost. He was very animatedly laughing and loving it the entire time. As a movie dork, that was a pretty once-in-a-lifetime experience. I watched the maybe premiere of Mom and Dad where Nick Cage was a few rows away. He laughed hysterically at scenes he was in. It made the experience even better. Seems like a really cool quirky guy. Similarly, I saw a friends and family screening of Men in Black 3 before it was finished. Will Smith was sitting in the back, laughing at his own jokes so loud, constantly. It was bizarre. I'd share the best concert I ever played with my old band. It was a super fun night and we got really good reception. We were never even moderately big, but that was the biggest we felt. I'm not one to live in the past, but man I crave that feeling every now and then. I feel this wholeheartedly. My band played so many local shows at VFWs and dive bars where nobody gave a shit about what was going on, or stayed outside smoking until their friends' bands came on. It was awful. But those few shows where we played decent venues with good crowds and got amazing reactions. I'd pay good money to have that feeling again. The first set I ever played was at the Roxy. I had all of 3 weeks of bass training before going up there, and our lead singer's entire extended family of like 50 people flew in to see it, plus friends of mine and randoms. One of the most terrifying and exhilarating experiences I've ever had. The time I went to a paranormal circus. It was fantastic. A red and black tent popped up in the mall parking lot overnight and advertised a weekend-long paranormal circus. I couldn't find anyone to go with me so I went by myself. It was so much fun. They had zombie nurses running the snack stand, light up creepy masks and costumes for sale. Everyone was dressed like dark steampunk. When they opened the gates to get into the main tent we had to go through an area with open cages to signify the monsters had been let out or something. I got directed to my seat by a lady and as I walked down the corridor to the main tent, a man with underbite fangs and a jungle cannibal style costume started chasing after me with a chainsaw. Haha. Hey, that's one way to get people in. When I got there I had semi-front row seating, not right at the stage, but the row behind those, right on the walkway near the action and face to face with the performers. Chainsaw dude apparently liked me because he jumped on the seat next to mine and yelled out the show was starting. There were nicely dressed vampires handing out light up cups full of slushies and bags of cotton candy. Ick now, the good stuff. Then a hooded dude with a demon's voice came on stage and announced that if anyone there was scared of the dark to leave then and there. Well, with that the show began, and a tiny clown in bloodstained clothes came on the stage. The rest of the show was amazing. Scares, stunts, girls in spiked boxes escaping, people in boxes being set on fire, creepy mimes, people being volunteered to perform questionable acts. At one point one guy was doing flips on this huge spinning rod in the air and almost fell twice. I'll admit, I screamed. 11/10 would go back again, but it was a one-time random thing in our small town. This is what I came to say. I'm 11 years old. First soccer tournament out of state. I play goalie. We're in the tournament finals. We are winning 2-1. The referee calls a penalty kick as time expires. He tells us this will be the last play of regulation. Cue butterflies. I stare down this other 11-year-old kid. Referee checks with me and asks if I'm ready. I'm ready. He blows the whistle and the attacker approaches the ball. I feint left and take a side step in that direction. Striker places the ball just off center to the right. I crap my way back to the right and make a diving save while catching the ball. Game. Blouses. I run to midfield with the rest of my team amidst adolescent screams of joy and jumping around, finally burying me under the pile. It was awesome. I still remember it vividly. I'm 35 now. I have experienced gold medal speed skiers from a first-person point of view in 3D VR. I am a pretty good snowboarder. I can hit the hardest trails at any mountain I have ever been to, but goddamn did that give me a new respect for the sport and these athletes. The video starts, and he just starts moving a little faster and faster. About 30 seconds in I am thinking alright, I could do that. But they continue to get faster and faster for like a straight 3 minutes. You see them hit maybe 90 miles an hour or something like that and their legs start to shake and you know right out of the headset. That sounds like a crazy experience. I also snowboard and am very comfortable on difficult trails, but I can't imagine getting to the speeds that those professional skiers go at. Not as wild as some of the others, but I'd sell the memory of a summer I had when I was 16. My parents were away and I had the apartment to myself for an entire summer. There were 2 huge groups of friends I hung out with, among whom were a few real, solid buddies that I'd known my whole life and a few others less permanent but very cool and funny individuals. My best friend and I dated a pair of best friends, and while I liked my girl enough I wasn't head over heels, and so had fun without any of the ensuing drama. She felt more or less the same way. The weekends were basically 48 hours of non-stop partying and hanging out. Feels like I saw the sunrise every day. Not a freaking care in the world. I think about it a lot now, decades later. I've got a great family and a good job, but man do I miss that freedom. As someone who is going on 16 soon, wish I could experience something like that. I don't have any close friends, mostly just acquaintances. It sounds like you had an awesome time. Can I ask what your parents did that they had to travel? No one in my town really travels much. My family is the only one that regularity goes anywhere, and even still if my parents had to go somewhere they would drag us along with them. You want to rent a terrifying VR experience? Last night I, M48, dreamed that I showed up for an important exam, only to find out it had been given as a take-home and everyone was just there to turn it in. I sat there watching everyone else stand up and file down the aisles to leave it with the professor, while I silently freaked out 20+ years after I graduated, and it was a total nightmare that scared me way worse than any scary nightmares ever do. I woke up gritting my teeth and sweating with anxiety. I swear that I have PTSD from high school college. I had to put my childhood pup to sleep when I was in 6th grade. A few months later I had a vivid dream playing with him and having as much fun as possible cause I knew he had to leave again soon. It was a great way to say goodbye. Edit. Thank you for the gold, kind strangers. The replies to this are also beautiful and they all show how important family pets are and the losses we face eventually. Everyone gets to say their goodbyes in many ways, even if it's not face to face. Same happened to me with my dogs and after my dad died. The weird thing is that I too knew in my dreams that it was like some goodbye until we meet again. However, I once cut my super long hair super short and I missed it a bit. Few days later I dreamt of combing my long hair. Was also kinda nice. De-edit. As many share more detailed versions of their dreams I also want to add a bit. My dogs died both of cancer and both times I dreamt of playing with them. My dad dream was completely different though. He died after a long suffering of cancer. It was truly heartbreaking to watch him fade. In my dream I went to visit him and I entered the kitchen where he usually would sit at the table. I was so surprised to see him in this dream because he looked way better, spoke clearly and simply looked healthy. I sat down and without me asking he just said something like I feel way better again. Then we happily chatted about some random things until I woke up. This is very comforting to me knowing that he's well and okay now. Subscribe and like for more content like this.